Time for us to see what the papers are reporting this morning. First, let me go have a peek into what the paper is reporting. The Nation newspaper says Fubara have made peace with Wike. And then the next paper, which is This Nigeria. 72 hours after resumption, Fubara meets Tinubu, says peace has returned to River State. The Punch newspaper talks about disaster, this time around on flood. States intensify action as 232 die, 121,000 displaced. And then the rider reads, NEMA lists Niger, Adamawa, Lagos among worst hit states in 2025 as farmlands, homes destroyed. Leadership newspaper has it as a story. Non-oil contributes 95.95% as economy grows to 4.323% in second quarter. Nigeria News Direct, Dangote Refinery, you can only delay change, not stop it. That's Otedola telling marketers, hailing Tinubu's deregulation policy for dismantling oil industry cabals. Next is the Hope newspaper. Federal government begins verification of disputed oil, gas fields in Niger Delta. Exercise targets or the targets fair oil revenue sharing, and verification covers Ondo, Anambra, Delta, Rivers, among others. Blueprint newspaper, case withdrawal. IGP debunks claims AIG petitions U.S. Embassy over rape of American citizen. Investigating team rejected 100 million naira bribe by Indian suspect. That's according to Lafia. Council writes Benue Attorney General of the Federation wants case file withdrawn from police. Next is the Daily Times. No visa for corrupt Nigerian officials. That's according to the almighty U.S. government warning there. The Platform Times, Osun tops nationwide voter registration chart with 11%. Borno, Kano, Sokoto lead north. And the Sporting Live, King Dembele, the best. Interesting stuff. Right, let's get right into it by having a peek into what these papers, demystifying what they've said, so far. I'll be doing this with Etoma, Ria, and of course, Olamide or Dekule. I don't know why I'm using the full name.
For her. Because it's a full package.
Absolutely. Only you can describe what that means. All right, Etoma, let's start off. We had this discussion already on if you look at the Nation newspaper as well as This Nigeria, talking about Fubara meeting the president, and then, she asked about godfatherism, and I was about saying, if you don't want to be a godson, then you do not.
Don't look for a godfather.
Yeah, but one thing is, River State is now flowing with rivers of peace.
Yes. For now, it seems that way. But let's see the commissioner's list go in and the budget go in. And then that will be a litmus test for the peace that we're talking about. As I said earlier on, there are people that profit out of controversy. And they are in River State.
That's right.
They are in Lagos. They are
everywhere. All of them. Some of them even came on national television.
Yes.
Reading out a whole... One of them, a lawmaker. Now everything has settled. We did not even hear from them.
No, you can't.
Fubara now knows who is truly behind him.
Yes, that is clear. My prayer for Fubara is that, bros, share your eye don't clear. To keep the peace, you have to do some take some very hard decisions. And I hope
some compromises.
Yeah, make some compromises too. Yes, and I hope he has a spine for that.
I just want to touch on this godfatherism, and this is not me. This is social media, so it's not from my mouth. It's what I see on social media.
Yes.
And people say that if we continue to encourage this, at the end of the day, these people are like puppets, because they always listen to what this particular person is saying. And at the end of the day, you know that government is not anybody's father's property. You are in government, and at some point you go. So those are some of the conversations that we see on social media. But I'm also praying and hoping that Fubara also has a mind of his own to lead his people, because it's not every time that Wike will be there. So that's my only prayer when it comes to this. I pray that the peace will continue to remain, and he has a mind of his own to make the right decisions to take Rivers to the right place.
When we talk about godfatherism, oftentimes we look at it from the negative angle. Sometimes, as a father, if you having a father, you always go back to your dad. What do you think I can do about this? That's a godfather there. But we know that godfather is actually a father figure. So when you look at it through the lens, Olamide, of it's a bad thing, probably the man will make you corrupt or will ask you to do corrupt thing, then for you to allow the person or to go to the person in the first place to get to that position, then you're also corrupt.
Absolutely. Systems are inherently hegemonic, meaning that they're there and they run on from one another as time goes on. As a young woman, if I have a mentor, who's to say she doesn't understand the systems more than I and can put me through? It doesn't have to function negatively, like you said. But my issue with this whole rivers thing, as we've all rightly said, is that I want us to be forward thinking. Ibrahim, you raised a point earlier on that the issue now is that the upper echelon has fought. There are many people in Rivers State, even people on ground, the indigents, who still feel very slighted by the democratic rule. And I just hope that that division does not leave lasting scars. I hope that people don't carry that fight even forward. In terms of even political alliance, you said, you know, Governor Siminalayi, he knows who's on his side now. Governor Wike also knows who is on his side now. I just hope that this doesn't leave lasting scars, because Rivers is already such a fragile democratic state. We'll see how it goes. Forward thinking.
Quickly, let me argue with you there. I'm not saying that the Godfather has to be totally negative. All I'm saying is that I also want Fubara to have a mind of his own. That's all I'm saying. It's not everything you run back to Wike and take. You should have a mind of your own to lead your people. That's all I'm saying.
The whole controversy started when he showed that he had a mind of his own in the first place.
As a person, you need to have a mind of your own.
And absolutely, teams, also, like I said, in terms of thinking and forward and having a mind of your own, there's been some, I wouldn't say allegations, but they said that, you know, for 6 months, you know, General Ibas, he ruled, and now they're saying that they're prompting some allegations and audits and everything like that. I don't know what do you guys think? Do you think that should be probed on, or should we leave the 6 months emergency rule where it is?
Yeah, so who must come to, who comes to equity must come with clean hands. So it is okay that they say, let's look into the spendings, the activities of the sole administrator. It's just a normal thing.
Accountability,
right? It's not witch hunt. But if they find any incongruity, I guess
there shouldn't be any skeleton in his cupboard, actually.
But let's see what happens, you know, at the end of the day. Moving on to the Punch newspaper. Flood disaster. States intensify action as 232 die. 121,000 displaced. This is a sorry sight. Of course, Etoma, NEMA is saying that Niger, Adamawa, Lagos among worst hit states in 2025 as farmlands, homes destroyed. And we are not out of the wet season yet.
Nigeria has a lot it is dealing with. We are dealing with insecurity disturbing our food security, and we're also dealing with flood disturbing our food security. The numbers, 232 die because of flood, and I can't remember the number of displaced people.
Over 121,000.
121,000, that is a lot.
Estimably.
Yes, that's a lot of people. That means it could be more. All right? The good thing about it is that Nigerians are now taking those warnings seriously. These figures connotes that anybody that has any semblance of a good mind will take whatever flood alert that comes seriously. Let's just do that, because we keep asking, if you say we should evacuate, where do we evacuate to? No, stay at home and see what happens to you. You know, it's disheartening that we are reeling figures like this when it comes to flood. And that's because we just didn't take the warning seriously.
And when we speak about flood, I always say, I'm a solution person. I'm always thinking about solutions rather than thinking about the problem, because you're telling people, oh, we're going to move you, don't do this, don't do that. What are the solutions for flood not to happen again? Ibrahim, we know that the heavy downpours continue to pour. I tell you, the last time it rained heavily in Lekki, you also, I couldn't come here with my car. It's still that bad. And then we say people are listening, but are they really listening? I still see people throwing dirty in the gutter. What are some of the reasons why this flood keeps happening?
Bad habits die hard.
And we say something at the end of the day. When it happens, it affects us. It doesn't affect the big politicians. It's us it affects. So as people as well, I think we need to do better with our drainage system. I go to so many places in Lagos, Nigeria, and I see how people still are making sure that those gutters are, blocked. And then rain falls, and then it all scatters. And you're like, oh, look at what has happened. Look at what. We need to do better ourselves.
The mandate we have in terms of flood is not just to anticipate. These anticipations are good and these early warning signs are good, but we must anticipate, replan, and rebuild. What rapid relief systems are in place should this happen? We've spoken about this several times. Anticipate, rebuild. It's not enough to just anticipate and predict.
Yeah, but I really stand with the fact that as Nigerians we need to do better. I understand that sometimes flood and everything, but we need to do better to make sure that our drainage system is good.
Ibrahim, just before you go on, we have to be deliberate as a government. We have to be deliberate in investing in our drainage systems.
That's right.
And I think this open gutter system is not working. Because that's
very medieval, very colonial.
That's where we drop all the stuff in.
It's
let's have solid, good drainage systems. You know, maybe a sewer system, but building that on a city that is already built is a tall order. I'm sure there's a solution.
Just hope more lives will not be lost.
There's some good news here. I'll talk about the Leadership newspaper saying that non-oil contributes 95.95% as economy grows to 4.23% in second quarter. Previous time we were talking about the 3% GDP growth, and this time around we're looking at 4.23%. So as we're getting inflation coming down, we're also looking at the GDP, rising. So the economy being stabilized. And then I know that you were also big on growth. Okay, fine, we've stabilized the economy. How about the growth? Now we're talking about the growth. Even non-oil export, talk about agricultural inputs, talk about mining, talk about electricity also stabilizing to a very reasonable extent, talk about coal, etc. So all of these are contributing to the growth of the Nigeria's economy. Good news, you think?
It is beautiful to read something like that on Nigerian newspapers. And, when we started celebrating that the economy had been stabilized, I said, okay, now it's stabilized. Let's grow it. Yeah. And thank God we are growing it. It was 3-something%. I think some months back, and now it's over 4%. It is the way to go. If we keep this momentum, those that had jackpot will be wondering why they did, because the economy will be much, much better, and we will have a beautiful country. What is stopping us right now? Just insecurity. And I'm happy that Mr. President cut short his vacation because of insecurity. We are yet to see results, but I hope these results will come out stronger.
I know you would like to talk about this, but I won't allow you.
No, let me just say one thing. I'm happy when we read all of this. We cannot deny the fact that Mr. President is doing a lot. We see that the economy is now stable and now it's for the growth. But all I'm crying for and I'm praying for and I'm saying is that we need to start feeling it in our pockets.
No, the process has started.
Because we are reading it too much.
You have pockets there.
I have a pocket. It's here. We need to start feeling it in our pocket. That's all I'll say, Brian. I know you don't want me to go further, so it's okay. I'll drop it.
No, it's okay. Olamide, let me come to you. If you look at Nigeria News Direct, I just want us to make good use of the time. Dangote Refinery saying you can only delay change. You can't stop it. That's Otedola telling
His
marketers, hailing Tinubu's deregulation policy for dismantling oil industry cabals. The Nupeng, the Dapman have been having face-off with Dangote Refinery since Dangote said he's going to bring in over 4,000 CNG-powered trucks, so much so that it will make distribution easier for the people to our own benefits.
Absolutely. I believe that just the other day we saw about 10,000 Dangote CNG trucks imported, and they were on not up to 4,000.
Yeah,
exactly.
10,000 drivers.
Exactly. Yeah. So that is amazing to see. But I will say Dangote is a one-man machine. For Otedola to say you cannot delay change, it's inevitable.
Of course.
It sounds like a man who knows something that we don't know about policy, about future shaping trends. But I worry about the business of oil and gas, because it can never be truly altruistic. It can never be altruistic.
When you have,
it has always been, and it will always be about profit. You can frame it how you want, that it's for the people inherently, but it will always be about profit. And just like we spoke about earlier on, I think it's amazing that our non-oil exports are now taking the focus off of oil. It's enough.
Yeah. Because at the end of the day, we cannot depend solely on oil. We have agriculture, we have cocoa, we have
other
things.
We have
so many things that we can depend on. And also, I'm not a person that believes in monopoly at all.
Absolutely. We need to...
I drop it there.
We have about 5 minutes, to do the rest of these things. I'll talk about the next paper, which is the Hope newspaper. Federal government begins verification of disputed oil gas fields in Niger Delta. Beautiful story there. But I want us to go to the Daily Times, which is saying that no visa for corrupt Nigerian officials. That's according to U.S. government. I want you guys to go at these headlines.
Yes,
this particular headline.
It all started in 2026 when we had 3 lawmakers allegedly, there was actually no rape and so on. But the stories that came from Cleveland that year wasn't very palatable. And for in America, rape, murder, and all that do not have a statute of limitation. That means that even if it takes 30, 40 years, that particular allegation or crime is still at the front burner.
Yeah.
And that's what they are reacting to right now. They have identified those three and have already revoked their visas, and they are saying any other one we find, we will revoke it. And in that case, you have to reapply for visa and go through more stringent processes to get visas. I think it's
it seems like a lot of people will not be going to the US again. Can I just no. Let me say something. I think that US is just making this very difficult. But then again, I don't want them to just say only our political people. Anybody that is corrupt should not go to the US. Why are they putting it on the officials?
It doesn't have to be politicians.
Okay, only. So anybody that's corrupt will not get to the US. Okay.
Absolutely. I think
let me leave it there.
I think it's a shame that the US mission had to come out and make this sort of statement. It's a blight on our leaders.
Absolutely.
It's a blight on the reputation of our leaders, and it's absolutely shameful. The US mission to come out and say you people cannot get visa. These are leaders or powerful people who have diplomatic immunity. You should not come out and say this about them.
Let me tell you something.
Sorry, excuse me. We're our own problems. This is a very, very big shame. But I will say this though: the verification process to see who is applying for what is very, very tedious. A lot of these high-level officials are not even applying for their own visa. You see Mohammed.
Do you know that? I agree totally with Olamide. Do you know that a country that has a president who has been accused of so many things, 34-count felony, talk about corruption, there's this case in New York and all of that, talk about funding Israel, killing children and women, and all of the atrocities they've contributed to the detriment of this world, now coming out to talk to us, to moralize and lecture us about corruption.
Genocide financiers.
And that's what I want to say is that at the end of the day, you cannot say they are saints. They too, they are corrupt. But the thing is that we just have to make our home look good. Because at the end of the day, we bring out more negative news about our politicians.
If anybody wants to teach us about corruption,
they do bad things, but we do not get to hear about the bad things.
No, we get to hear it. That's why I mentioned
the president that is
presiding over you. See, we talk about the aid, the USAID that was, taken back by Trump. Yeah. They were funding terrorism. That is the reason why they said, okay, we are not doing that. Now they are trying to come back. Go to different countries, Afghanistan, Libya, and all of those countries. US has played very negative role when it comes to
but in one way or the other, too, our leaders also need to write as well.
Seychelles is an African country.
Let's go one side and one side.
Seychelles is an African country. It ranks 18 when it comes to global ranking of corrupt. US ranked 24. So let's say Seychelles, Norway, Netherlands talk to us about not letting our leaders come, not US talking to us about whether our leaders are corrupt or not.
It's a lofty and condescending approach.
Absolutely.
I understand your sentiments and all that. But what I want to talk to Nigerians directly, because we do a good job demarketing our country.
Absolutely.
You know, we do a very good job doing that, and it is not right. When we demarket our country, and a country like America now says we're not giving visas to corrupt officials. I love the way you put it, a country like America. You know, why would, I think they have the moral right to do that. Yes, it is.
But at the end of the day, like I said earlier on, we still need to speak good about Nigeria, but our leaders as well also need to do right.
We know we are not angels. We are not angels, but not,
they need to do right
let it come out from somebody that has a very clean mouth to talk to us about.
Leaders talking about going to equity earlier on.
There's nothing more Ibrahim hates more than a glass house.
Let's go on. Let's go on very quickly, and then this something of a good news, here. Osun tops nationwide voter registration chart with 11%. Borno, Kano, Sokoto lead north. This is good news again. Talk about Nigerians who are waking up when it comes to awareness and doing their registration. But it is one thing for you to do your registration.
Yesterday we spoke about it. It's good news. When I see the numbers, I'm excited. But at the end of the day, will they go and vote? We see that these people even do this voters card because they want to use it for something else. So whenever I have the opportunity, I want to plead with people that at the end of the day, if you get your voters card, it is your duty to go out and vote. Because if you do not vote, you have no right to come and say, oh, INEC did not do this, INEC did not do that. So I'm glad that Osun is stopping it. But also, I want to tell the people of Osun, if you have your voters card, 2027 depends on you. You should go out and cast your vote.
I want to know, how can we replicate this model that Osun State has put forth? How can INEC increase voter awareness and voter excitement in low turnout states? I'll constantly say this: democracy needs numbers. You cannot have a democracy if people are not coming out to vote together. But I worry that a lot of people for so long felt so disenfranchised that they don't understand the power of a vote. And that's a shame.
All right, last but not least is the Sport and Life with your guy, our guy, Galatasaray.
Victor.
Konyaspor versus, Galatasaray 3, Konyaspor 1. That's Victor Osimhen missing despite returning to full training. However, the club was able to, trounce their opponents. Indeed, back after injury, and then this is also saying on page 5, King Dembele, the best. So the beautiful.
Say something. Yeah. I never see women topping this sporting life. Yesterday, Nadozie in the Ballon d'Or, she was ranked 4th. No, even the day with her, what's her name? Toby Amusan. She did not make the headline of Sporting Life. So Sporting Life.
She did.
She did not make it. I was there that day because I took the newspaper review for the first time.
She did.
No, she does sometimes.
Why am I not speaking that?
I think what we need to say is that we need more women.
Absolutely. Every day, Osimhen.
No, Osimhen is our guy.
It wasn't the main headline.
I need more.
Women supporting women. That's about it for the newspapers up for review. Coming on TVC Breakfast. Can state budgets sustain the burden of higher wages? Join us after the break as we discuss the urgent calls for an increase in the minimum wage. Just stay with us.